Good morning, meditators. Welcome to Meditation Magic. My name is Daniel McCall. I'm coming at you from inside of Merlin, my mobile meditation shack. And today I have a really special, powerful, and brief meditation for us that can really help us integrate some of the tougher things we might be going through. So I've been working with several people over the past few weeks on some different things in my coaching practice. I've worked on some depression with people. I've worked on resistance. I've worked on, some deep, just really deep grief. And one of the things that I see happen a lot inside of the self-development, transformational development, leadership development communities is often a need to really get through those types of emotional experiences. Like, oh, I'm so depressed and I really want to bust through this, or I'm bored, or I'm really suffering from grief and I want to get to the other side of it. And while that is actually a whole aspect of what I do as a human being on this planet, I help people transform these deep emotional experiences and get to the other side. I don't do it by denying it or suppressing it or repressing it or ignoring it or avoiding it. The way to really get to the other side of a lot of these really powerful emotional experiences is through integration, right? And so what happens is we become a much bigger space, which is what we mostly are. We're mostly space. We become a much bigger space, and that allows us to integrate our experiences of depression, to integrate our experiences of grief into our life in a way that isn't avoidant. It's also not clingy or addictive. We can also be addicted to our own sadness, addicted to our own grief. And when I say addicted, I mean that as in we're going to do something to avoid feeling the things that we are actually meant to feel. So this meditation is called Even Your Blank is Sacred. Right? And then you get to fill in the blank with whatever it is you're experiencing in your life right now. So it could be even your depression is sacred. Even your boredom is sacred. Even your resistance, even your confusion or confliction, any type of experience you're having, whatever your flavor, your particular flavor of suffering, even that is a sacred experience. What do I mean by sacred? I mean hallowed and consecrated. If you look it up in the dictionary, you're going to see sacred means to make hallowed or consecrated, or to make holy, to sanctify. The definition I loved is when something is sacred, it's entitled to respect or reverence. And that's the definition I really use when I say, even your depression is sacred, because your depression is something that is a part of your human experience, right? It's in your field of awareness. It's in your energetic field. And it is entitled to a certain amount of respect and reverence. Now, again, when we're meditating, the goal is to be able just to clearly see whatever is showing up in our field. So if I were to grab something like this computer mouse here and say okay, this is something floating up into my consciousness. Let's just call this anger. We've all been angry at some point or another. So here's anger rising up in my awareness, and I can either try to go and no, push it back down, or, push it away or somehow resist it that way. Or I could just let it get so big in my field of awareness that I can't see anything else, right? And then it's righteous anger, justified anger, the anger of I want to be right. And that's really all I can see. Meditation is simply, here's something arising in my field of awareness, And then I get to look at it. I get to witness it. Like, oh, this anger has this little scroll wheel and some clicky buttons. If I look at it this way, oh, my anger has some like ergonomic shaping if I look at it that way. And that might sound a little dry, but that is what the meditation is. It's simply being able to be the bigger space that something can rise up in, a thought, an emotion, an experience, and then, oh yeah, look at that. That's that anger that's been there for so long. And again, I'm not trying to fix it. I'm not trying to necessarily change it in a small way. I am, though, able to really transform the anger. When it goes from like right here, blocking your vision where all you can see is the anger, to out here where you can simply see it in more space, like that is a miracle. That is transformation. Has it changed? Not necessarily, other than like my perspective of it has shifted. So as we meditate today, thank you, Mouse. Good prop. As we meditate today, notice what begins to rise up in your field of awareness. And instead of, I'm going to like not feel that or not look at that or suppress it, or, you see something come up and it's just so big and massive in your life that it's just filling up your frame of reference. Can you simply be with whatever that experience is and acknowledge it as sacred, right? Even that thing is sacred, entitled to respect or reverence. And then what you'll begin to notice is, we'll use this example of the mouse and the anger again. As that anger then passes, because all of our experiences pass, that's the nature of experience, it kind of goes back down. If I didn't wrestle with it and fight with it and with it, the next time it comes up, the idea is that it's already going to have some of that space around it. It's not going to have as much emotional impact, right? And then if I don't fight with it again, I let it go longer, it comes up again, it comes up even farther from me. And so again, I can't iterate enough. It's not about like letting go of anger in the sense like you're not going to have it anymore. It's really letting go of that attachment to it, and our hold on it, so that it can actually do what it was meant to do. The emotions can do what they were meant to do, which is move through us. So even your anger is sacred. Even that thing in your mind that you're thinking privately could not possibly be sacred. That thing is too sacred. So that's the meditation today. Let's meditate, right? Take your seat. I'm going to do some adjusting here so I get my spine nice and long. I'm able to breathe deeply and really feel the spine line. And close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and a big sigh out. Do that a couple more times. Just a big full rinsing inhale and exhale. And after a couple of deep breaths, let your body and breath then just settle into a natural rhythm. You're not trying to shape the breath or change the breath. Let it be however it is. So bring your attention to your foundation, a piece of your body touching the floor, touching your seat. Whether you're lying down or sitting up, can you just feel your connection to the earth? And from there, simply scan up the body, however makes sense to you, noticing, witnessing the spaces in the legs and hips, the abdominal cavity. Can you just feel into every part of your body, scanning from the ground up to the crown of your head. There's no hurry, no rush. Just you watching the body from a place deeper within. When you work your way up to the crown of your head, feel the outline of your body in the room you're in. Can you distinguish where your skin is touching your clothing, touching the air? With the other senses like hearing, your sense of smell, can you extend your awareness out beyond the skin and notice the environment you're in? Temperature of the air, any sounds you hear. Again, these things we might think of as distractions to our meditation are actually a part of the meditation, right? Even that sound in the background is sacred. When you get a little squirmy because of a tight back or tight hips, like even that sensation is a sacred sensation. So can you simply watch all the stuff coming up in your environment? From the outside, can you bring the awareness into the center line of your body, the spine line, and notice the quality of your seat and your stature, your meditative seat. And become aware of your breath, however strong or subtle the breath is. Can you begin to watch your inhale and your exhale? Watch in a way that it is the most sacred action you could be taking right now. This inhale, this exhale that you're present for is sacred space. You're watching the sacred space. This is where you start to really notice what's in your personal space, right? The interior space. As soon as you get still, all the little things that are moving in your life become a little more apparent. And so notice like the to-do list, notice the chitter chatter. I'm often meditating and I think of the perfect comeback to say to someone from 5 years ago. Notice all these little things come up and then using your awareness, the power of your witness, can you expand your awareness to be bigger than all the little things showing up in your space? Even your undone to-do list that kind of stimulates a little anxiety. Both the to-do list and the anxiety, they're both sacred. Right? There's something important about them to you. And so you notice that when you hold them as sacred, you get the distance, you get the perspective. Can you witness from the perspective where you start to see the outlines of your stuff, right? Again, whatever it is, your particular flavor of suffering, can you start to see it not as this all-encompassing thing? It's something that lives within you and there's space around it, room to dance with it and step around it and see it in a new way. Humans, we're all running from something. What happens when we transform running or resistance into reverence? In this ocean of being that you are, no wave is a mistake. Every little ripple, every wave is something to be made sacred, revered, respected even. For the next minute or so, just let the mind do whatever it is it wants to do. It wants to wander and run around, let it do that. If it wants to continue sitting in silence, allow it to do that. No judgment. Simply let the mind do the mind stuff. Bring your hands together at your chest and warm up your palms by rubbing them together, creating some heat. And when they're nice and toasty, cover your eyes and open your eyes into the darkness and warmth of your hands first. And when you're ready, stretch yourself back awake. Namaste. Thanks for meditating with me today.